Welcome back again to another video lecture of Roy's Academy. In this lecture, I am going to discuss the catabolism of a very essential amino acid named arginine. The same amino acid which is very much essential for the hair follicle development twice in course of lifetime. Once primary development happens at the neonatal stage, okay, or just after the birth, and the secondary development happens during the pubertal stage, which is a permanent development, okay. So the arginine is one of the essential amino acid which helps in repairing the scalp specifically, and also helps in repairment of the follicles of the furs and hairs all over the body throughout the entire skin, okay. And also somehow also helps in the resynthesis or regathering of the melanin pigmentation, okay. So how this arginine amino acid is being catabolized, and it's very important to learn about the arginine amino acid catabolism because it helps in giving rise to separate end products which helps in detoxification. So specifically this arginine amino acid is a form of the amino acid which is connecting the link between the mitochondrial and the cytosolic reactions, okay, or the metabolic pathways. So basically this catabolism is happening particularly within the liver cells, okay. The catabolism of the arginine when it goes on excess, and also if it is happening in other muscular tissue cells, the end products or the intermediary products must enter through the course of the portal circulation or the hepatic portal circulation into the liver, where it undergoes the phases of the detoxification, right. So let's see that how this arginine amino acid is being catabolized. Now we have arginine, right. Now this arginine amino acid in the presence of the enzyme called arginase gives rise to two specific products or compounds. One is urea, okay, another one is ornithine. Keto acid, that is, it is having this functional radical. Keto acid means it is having a keto group in it. Now this ornithine keto acid, again in the presence of enzyme ornithine transcarbamylase helps in giving rise to compound called citrulline, and this citrulline compound participates in a detoxification cycle, again giving rise to what? Again giving rise to arginine, which again forms ornithine, and the ornithine again forms citrulline, and this particular cycle is called nothing but the same urea cycle, okay. This cycle is very much essential for the detoxification of CO2 plus NH4 positive, the ammonium ions, okay. This particular cycle is very much essential for the detoxification of the carbon dioxide that is being formed from the aerobic respiration of the cell or the TCA cycle within the mitochondrial matrix, and the ammonium ions, which are the last but not the least, the most detrimental in products. I must say, mention the term detrimental because In this case, what happens if the ammonium ions, the last and the least end product, the only last end product of the protein metabolism, which is converted to amino acid, which are rather and again converted to the ammonium ions, on the gradual accumulation or deposition of the ammonium ions, it might lead to what? Adverse side effects in the body. So this ammonium ions along with the CO2, carbon dioxide, helps itself in the detoxification pathway called the urea cycle, which is nothing but this cycle. This urea cycle is nothing but this cycle that happens within the liver. So it is part of it is happening within the matrix of the mitochondria, and the rest of it is happening within the cytosol. Right. Now this ornithine keto acid again, this ornithine keto acid in the presence of another enzyme called ornithine transaminase. Ornithine transaminase gives rise to another important compound called glutamate gamma semialdehyde. Glutamate gamma semialdehyde. Okay. Now this glutamate gamma semialdehyde in the presence of dehydrogenase, that is, dehydrogenation happens means the involvement of essentially or inevitably NAD plus is there. Okay. So in the presence of dehydrogenation, the glutamate gamma semialdehyde gives rise to glutamate. Now this glutamate in the presence of another enzyme called glutamate transaminase, transamination reaction is happening here, gives rise to alpha ketoglutarate. Okay, so here the transamination reaction, that is the amine group from the glutamate, is being removed and it is again referred. This is a kind of feedback. This pathway is actually a feedback pathway, that is this alpha ketoglutarate can be converted to glutamate again in a reverse allosteric mode of regulation, or in feedback mode of regulation, where it's actually a kind of a feedback inhibition. Okay, feedback inhibition means if the alpha ketoglutarate is present more, then essentially the glutamate which is present more in our body will be converted to alpha ketoglutarate in order to increase the concentration of alpha ketoglutarate. So the feedback inhibition means if the reverse conversion of the alpha ketoglutarate to the glutamate would not be assisted in that case, in particularly the liver cells or in the other muscle tissue cells, because in those cases what is needed is a particular amino acid has to be converted into another different product with the removal of the amine group. So in that case the alpha ketoglutarate compound is converted to glutamate by accepting that amine group. Now in the feedback inhibition, that is the inhibition that where the feedback, that is the reverse pathway conversion of the alpha ketoglutarate to the glutamate is blocked in those cases, because those are emergency cases where the amine group needs to be removed essentially or particularly. Now in this case it is also another reversible process or interconvertible process. It is a feedback mechanism that the glutamate which is being formed, the glutamate is excessively deposited, so in that case a feedback is being assisted, a feedback pathway is being assorted in this case, where the glutamate reconverts to the alpha keto acid or alpha ketoglutarate with the removal of the amine group from itself, right? So it's a kind of feedback allosteric mode of regulation or allosteric pathway, feedback allosteric regulatory pathway. Well, the transamination is functioning as the allosteric enzyme which is controlling this pathway. Okay, so basically it is called as a feedback allosteric regulatory pathway. Now this alpha ketoglutarate is participating in nothing but the TCA cycle. Alright. Participating in nothing but the TCA cycle. Okay, and this urea is ejected, excreted out of the body through urine or through sweat or through any other means, via any other viable means or possible means of excretion from our body, when the urea is excreted in order to detoxify the body, detoxify the blood specifically, right? So this is how the arginine is being catabolized in its successive steps to the different pathways, one leading to alpha ketoglutarate TCA cycle, another leading to ornithine. In the presence of ornithine transcarbamylase, it is recontinuing the urea cycle, this urea cycle which is liberating urea again, this urea same product again, and which is being excreted, and in ornithine, same amino acids is again in the presence of ornithine transaminase, gets converted to glutamate gamma semialdehyde, right? So this is how the pathway of arginine, the complete catabolic pathway of arginine is taking place. So if you like this video, please do hit a thumbs up button. Also you can find me on the social sites, so drop down your personal queries or interests, if any, within the link in the inboxes of the link descriptions given in the description box below. And please do share the video as much as possible, and last but not the least, please subscribe the channel, because if you subscribe the channel, in that way I can have your love and affection more and get more enthusiasm from you people to help benefit you people with more such videos into. Thank you.